So for question one thing that I found interesting was how almost all of the words were completely sung and there was little to no actual spoken dialogue. And you don't see that in a lot of musicals, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And then another thing was, I thought it was cool and meaningful how the mothers were implemented into the musical, and kind of added an extra touch of being concerned and loneliness. And then for question 2, one value that I picked up on was that love is extremely important. And this was attached to almost everybody, but at the very end when Mai was dead, and then she saw Angel in the afterlife and he told her to go back and it wasn't her time, and Roger and Mai had just admitted their love for each other. And she heard Roger's song that he claimed she is his song. So that's the one value that I picked up on. And then a second one was Carpe Diem, so seize the day. And this was mainly attached to the characters with HIV/AIDS, so a lot of the principal characters. So in the song Another Day, the lyrics that say, "There's only us, there is no day but today." And then so for the third question, I researched what years this musical took place in, just to kind of get more background. And it takes place in 1989 to 1990. At first I was trying to get an idea of when this takes place to see if HIV/AIDS was still a disease that was in its pretty early forms of research, which I think it still was. And I now understand that there was still a lot of controversy about the disease, even though treatments were progressing. And these characters didn't have a lot of access to the necessary treatments, so fighting the disease was difficult for the main characters. And so the issue of diversity that I chose was sexuality, and almost all the characters were part of the LGBT community. And so this depicted as people, even though they had an awful disease that are commonly associated with their sexuality, they are still really good people at heart who are willing to do anything for the other members of their community and just other people in general, and genuinely love each other for who they are. And it challenges traditional understandings of this issue because conventional beliefs may look down upon LGBT people who are part of this community, but this play proves that they can be really good people outside of the disease that they may carry. And it speaks to our present day because you hear more and more about the LGBT community and all the great achievements that they are accomplishing and the strides they're making towards equality. And so the song that I chose to analyze was Light My Candle, and the function was to build the foundation of Roger and Mai's relationship that will continue to grow throughout the rest of the musical. And it advances the character development of Roger and Mai, who is a new character at this point in the musical, and her and Roger seem to have an instant connection. And it advances the plot in a direction that starts to explain all of the unfolding relationships between all the major characters in the play. And then 2 questions that I had were, why do you think the song Seasons of Love is so popular? It's a very commonly covered song, so why do you think that is? And then for my second question, why do you think the voicemails from the mothers were added throughout the musical, and what purpose did they serve?